I'm from the Nanyang Business School, and my colleague here is Amira. She works closely with me together on the Business Analytics Master's Program. And I also want to, I guess the highlight of today's session is really the panel discussion after the program, overview. So first, I would like to introduce Prof. Ben. He is a faculty teaching in the program. Yeah,
Hello.
And then next we have two alumni who have who are joining us this afternoon. First we have Jingyu, or you can also call him Justin.
Hello.
And then we have Baratha. She's actually dialing in from one of the city in China right now because she's there on a business trip. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. So without any further delay, let me start the information session so that now after that we can dive right into the panel discussion with our panelists. So just give me a moment to share my slides. Okay. Okay, can everybody see my slides? Okay, I hope that's great. Okay, so thank you again for joining me today. Okay, so I think I usually like to start a little bit of the information session, a little bit about Singapore, because I know many of you are dialing in not just from Singapore, but from different parts around the world as well. So I always like to share a little bit about what Singapore is for those of you who have not been to our little cosmopolitan a little red dot in Asia. So Singapore is truly in the heart of Asia. And I believe many of you would agree that, being in Asia, we are the fastest growing economic region in the world. And Singapore is also a global business hub. And I think we for a tiny country in Asia, we are very happy to be, we have a lot of accolades. We are Asia's most and fourth in the world for competitiveness. We're consistently ranked top in terms of the smart cities globally. So coming here to study in Singapore, I think you'll find it's a very interesting, dynamic city, and it's a very multicultural and multiracial country as well. So I think Singapore is a very unique place culturally. I think we're probably one of the most culturally diverse country in Asia, and we're consistently ranked as one of the most livable city globally and in Asia as well. So this is just a little introduction of Singapore for everyone here. Okay. So let me go, to talk a little bit more about NTU. NTU stands for Nanyang Technological University. And in short, you hear me mention quite a fair bit about NTU. I usually call it NTU so that it's easier, not so much of a mouthful. We're established in 1991 with engineering and business as a core discipline. So you can imagine that business is very much a part of the NTU as a university. We are a research-intensive global university, and currently in the latest QS World University ranking, we're ranked 15 in the world. And in terms of best young university, I'm very, very proud to say that we're ranked #1 in the world for university who is less than 50 years of age. And as a young university, I'm also very, very proud that we are actually ranked 15 in the world, which is alongside a lot more very, very established university globally. So these are just some of the rankings that we have as the university, as well as some of the programs that we offer at the Nanyang Business School. As you can see, our MBS program are very, very highly ranked as well. And that is a reflection of the strengths of the business school education. So let me share a little bit more about Nanyang Business School. So the image that you see here is not just, it's not like a resort. It's actually the new home of Nanyang Business School. It's called the Gaia Building. We actually moved in last year in July, and it is Asia's largest wooden building. So if you are going to study here with us in a master's program, you will be having your classes there actually, yes. Okay, so at Nanyang Business School, we are a premium business school within a leading technological university. And I think Nanyang Business School really is an axis of, innovation, research, and business education. And you can see if you joined us, and if you look at a lot of our follow us on social media, you probably see a lot of these three themes: innovate through interdisciplinarity, lead with cultural dexterity, and transform with sustainability. And these are the three pillars that Nanyang Business School stands for. So in a lot of our program, actually, in fact, all our program, you see that in our curriculum design, we're very deliberate in terms of introducing interdisciplinarity, because subjects are, we cannot just work in silos, right? At the workplace, we actually work with colleagues from different departments, different teams, etc. And that's where having a understanding of interdisciplinarity is very important, which is why we inject it into our curriculum design. And of course, cultural dexterity. I think the world is becoming much a smaller place with all the travels, with all the Zoom meeting, all the virtual workplaces that we have. So many times we are working with colleagues that either join us from different countries, or we are working in multinationals where we have offices in different regions and global cities. And that's where having this cultural awareness of how different people work in the culture in different workplaces in different country, having that awareness is very important. And at Nanyang Business School, I think we try to bring that in as well, through in terms of the student life. Not just your program. We encourage our students to interact with classmates from your program, as well as from other program, because our student body at the business school and at the university itself is a very, very diverse group, and we encourage people to know one another better. And of course, sustainability is an important part of what we stand for at the business school itself, as well as the university level. So we also very much, as much as possible, introduce sustainability into our curriculum as much as possible. And you see, we try to do that in all the things that we do at the business school as well. So today, actually at the Nanyang Business School, we offer 4 specialized master's program in accountancy, in business analytics, marketing science, and financial engineering. But today, this is just an information session for business analytics, and I'll be going into deeper details about this program. So if you have any questions, we will have a Q&A at the end of the session, and you can welcome to key in your your question into the chat box. Yeah. So maybe a little bit share about the three what do you call that, the edge of our business analytics program. Our curriculum design is very deliberate, in the sense we try very much to teach our students what is latest and what is required in the workplace. So you can see in our curriculum we have courses like machine learning, blockchain, and AI. And I guess is really part of what business analytics is, because business analytics is, in a very simplified kind of an explanation, it's the intersection between the business and technology. And we equip our students with the tools, with the analytical tools, to help make sense of the vast data that's available in a company. Like, you have customer data, you have operations data. How do we find trends? How do we discover insights in these data to improve the businesses? I think this is at the core of what business analytics is. And so this is what we try to impart in our students, with the tool sets, with the skill sets, to be able to perform their role as a business analyst in the workplace. And we try very, very much to make our curriculum very industry relevant. And that means using a lot of real world data, when our faculty are teaching in the program. So it enhances the learning, because if you use a data that is, maybe from a company or industry that you're familiar with, it tends to stick with you. The learnings, it tends to be enriched in that sense. And in our trimester 3, we actually have a data analytics practicum, which is like an internship, actually, basically that is inbuilt as part of the curriculum. So during this practicum, you are actually attached to a Singapore-based company to work on analytics related project. So you are able to really have the hands-on experience on how to apply what you have learned in the previous 2 trimesters into this practicum. And it also enhances, and it's something that you can actually add into your resume as well, which would enhances, like I said, your employability, especially looking for analytics related job at it after the program. So I think we really like this practicum is because our students are able to be really operate like, how they would be in the workplace, so that, and they would have the opportunity to work with different stakeholders to sharpen their hard skills as well as soft skill sets in the workplace. And of course, like I mentioned, interdisciplinary is something that Nanyang Business School firmly believes in, which is why in our program, we have faculty teaching from the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, as well as computer engineering teaching in our program, so that they're able to bring their best practices into the program as well from their different colleges. So this is an overview of the business analytics course calendar. So our program is a one-year program. So in July, this is actually the pre-course. We make sure that everybody has some sort of a programming, foundation. We have a programming essential, which is a compulsory pre-course. And the business communication classes is only for selected students. Generally, they are for students whose English is not their native language. And trimester one starts in August. So we have 3 trimesters in our program. It's a one-year program. So in the different trimester, you can see that there are different modules that you see here that you need to take. And of course, there are also electives that you can select as well to further kind of customize the learning that you want from our program. And this is the practicum that I was talking about in trimester 3. So at this point, when you join our program in May the following year, you will have finished all your compulsory courses, all your coursework, and you can choose to graduate here. And for us, we can actually allow you to extend to an 18 months program through this internship module. So that means that you actually extend your program from 1 year to 1.5 years. And during this time, this internship period, you can actually do full-time internship anywhere you like, in Singapore, in your home country, or even a different country to gain more experience before you embark on a full-time employment. Yeah, so this is an overview of the course calendar that I have here. And you may be wondering, who do you study alongside with? So this is a snapshot of the class profile of our current cohort. This year we have 110 participants in the program, and the average years is about 23. So a lot of questions that I get when they see this slide is that, oh, everybody's only 23. It sounds very young. Yeah, the reason is because as a specialized master's program, we do not require work experience, which is why you see a lot of students, they join us straight from the undergraduate. So they complete their undergraduate degree and then they join us in the master's program, which is why the average age is 23. Having said that, we do have students with a few years of work experience, generally about less than 5 years in the program as well. But of course, the percentage of that varies from year to year. I would say it forms about maybe 20% or so, or 20 to 30%, depends. This number differs from year to year. So we do have students with work experience joining the program as well. It's not like totally unheard of, yeah. So, and where do our students come from? Since the majority of our students come from undergrad, so I thought that what we'll do is to look at the background, the major of what they were doing prior to joining the program. As you can see, close to half of our students come with a business background. And another quarter come from a STEM background, and then followed by economics and social sciences and arts and humanities. So as you can see, students from economics and arts and all that forms about 31%, 1/3 of the class. Actually comes with a non-technical background, because I get this question very often. Do I need to know programming? Do I have to be expert in programming before I join the program? But I guess this answer kind of like show you that we do have students who don't really come from a programming background. And they do tell me honestly that can be a struggle in the first trimester, because you're learning something new, and they do need to take more time to put in more effort to learn. But from trimester 2 onwards, they say they are expert in programming. So it is possible. But I would highly encourage students to at least know what is programming prior to starting the program, because its curriculum design is quite heavy on programming. And if you find that you absolutely do not like programming, it can be challenging, because it's a 1-year program and you're talking about a lot of programming almost every day. So I highly encourage everybody to at least take out some courses like in Python programming, just to have a better idea of what you are going to be dealing with. And where are our students from? You can see that our students are very international. 90% of our students are international students, and they usually come from the region. Okay. Okay, and what is our admissions requirements? So a bachelor's degree, like I mentioned, you need not come from a technical background. You need to be a computer science, a graduate, or analytics, a graduate. A bachelor's degree in any field. No experience is required. And we do require a GMAT or a GR test score. And this is waived for graduates from Singapore Autonomous University. I'm pleased to share that. And TOEFL and IELTS score only if your undergraduate degree is not taught in English language, then you're required to have this score. Otherwise, you don't need to. Okay. Okay, and these are the supporting documents that, these are the supporting documents that you need to prepare when you put in an application. So all our application must be submitted online. And I'm pleased to share that actually, by joining us today, we're happy to offer application fee waiver. So we will be sharing with you to all the attendees this application fee waiver code that you can use. And there are some terms and conditions is that you need to put in your application by the end of October. All these details will be shared in the email containing the application waiver code. Yeah, so these are the supporting documents that you need to prepare. Everything is just online. Okay, so what is our application process like? So it's like I mentioned, submit online applications, and the admissions team will review your application. So the admissions team will only review your application if all the supporting documents are uploaded, meaning your resume, your transcript, degree score if you're graduated. If you're in your final year, final trimester, it's okay. You don't need to submit your degree score because we know that you have not graduated, but your transcript is needed. And your recommendations letter, meaning that your recommender has submitted their recommendations for you. All these are uploaded. That's where our admissions team will review. So it's a rolling admissions, which means that we don't wait until the deadline is over before we review your application. It's on an ongoing basis. And of course, admissions shortlisted candidate will have an interview through Zoom. And after that, we will let you know the admissions outcome if you are offered a place in the program. And of course, if you're applying for scholarship, it's only after the admissions outcome that if you're going to be offered a place in the program, a scholarship committee will then review your application for scholarship application. Yeah, so I'm happy to announce that we are already open for application. So you can scan this QR code, which will bring you to our online application page. Okay, so just an overview again of our admissions and the different timeline and the tuition fees. So it's a full-time program. We do not offer part-time program. It's a one-year program, or you can extend to 1.5 years through the internship module. And these are our application deadline, 30th November, 31st Jan, and 31st March. So if you are applying for scholarship, you must apply by the round one deadline, which is 30th of November. Yeah, so do remember this very important deadline. Okay, so the tuition fee is Singapore dollars, 60,000 before our 9% GST. Okay, so a lot of people always ask, in the admissions team, what do you look for? How can I improve my application? So here is, a few areas that the admissions team will be looking at when we review your applications. Definitely your academic profile is one that we'll look at. We look at the university that you are currently enrolled in or you're graduated in. Of course, we look at the grades as well, but we do not have a minimum GPA cutoff. These are just some of the things that we look at. Of course, academic is important, but we also emphasizes a lot of non-academic achievements as well. So if you are very active in student groups, extracurricular activities, these are something that we look at as well, because it can demonstrate, your leadership qualities that we can see in you, or the potential in leadership. So these are the things that we look at. And of course, we also look at internship and work experience. What have you done in your internship? What have you done, achieved in your career? How relevant is it relevant to the major, the program that you're applying for? So these are some of the things that we look at. And of course, we look at, how we think you can, how else you can contribute to the class. So these are some of the areas that the admissions team will be looking at when we look at your application. So do remember your application, all the things that you're submitting, the essays, the resume, etc., they all tells a story about one piece about you. So we will look at them as a holistic. So it's like a different parts of jigsaw puzzle and placed together as a whole. So, so every part of the application is important. So do spend some time as you work on your application before submitting. Okay, so again, this is a very exciting page. We do have some very exciting scholarship that we have introduced this year. So we are continue to award ASEAN Development Scholarship. So this scholarship is a very generous scholarship that's offered by the business school. So if you are awarded with a scholarship from the ASEAN Development Scholarship, it covers either 40% or full tuition fee. So this scholarship is only applicable for applicants from the ASEAN nations, excluding Singapore citizens. Okay, and this is very new. This diversity scholarship is something that we introduced for this upcoming intake. So again, this diversity scholarship is applicable for everybody. So regardless of nationality, we welcome you to apply for this scholarship. If you're awarded, it covers 40% of tuition fee. And then we do have other merit scholarship as well. These are the quantum of scholarship is smaller than the ASEAN Development, as well as the diversity scholarship. It's a partial scholarship. And if you're NTU alumni, we also offer you a grant. You don't have to apply for it. It's automatically applied. It's a 10% tuition fee discount. And if you're a Singapore citizen or a Singapore permanent resident, there's a grant as well. It's a $5,000 off the tuition fee. Yeah, so if you want to look for more information on our scholarship information, they can be found on our website. Okay, so what else does Nanyang Business School offers to our students? So we provide a career resources because we know that career is an important is important to our student. We know that one of the key reasons why you're embarking on a master's program is the career that you hope to achieve after you graduate. So we do provide career coaching. Our colleagues in the careers office is a dedicated office just for the master's student in the business school. We have career coaching. They organize, throughout the year with us, different workshops, seminars, and talks, so that our students have the opportunity to network with industry experts to gain insights on how to, join certain industry that you're really keen in. And they, of course, networking offer open doors to use as well, and hopefully leading to interviews or internship. And they provide different career tools as well. So they have like a job portal where they post different internships and full-time work posting where our student can access and apply for all this. So our careers team works very, very hard for all our students. And of course, they offer different because you have opportunity to work on them on coaching and counseling, etc. You can ask for to help to open doors to maybe companies or industry that you're very, very keen in. And most of the time they probably know somebody who are in those industry and could help you to make that connection. And sometimes one connection is what you need. Yeah. And of course, if you would like to read more about our employment, our students' employment highlights, you can scan this QR code and you can download this employment highlight for our specialized master's program. So I'll just pause here to just let you take a moment to take a picture of this screen. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so, and also I'm happy to say that, to share that we are forming 2 groups on a WhatsApp and WeChat as well. So if you are very, very keen to join next year intake, the 2025 intake, which we are now accepting application for, welcome to join us in a WhatsApp group or WeChat group. So, what happens in this group is that you can post questions, and we'll try our best to answer them, to the best of our ability, or direct you to other resources if we don't have the answers. And we try to reply them during office hours as much as possible, and sometimes after office hours as well. But do, after if it's after office hours, please pardon if my team members cannot respond so promptly to your questions. And of course, we also post in these groups, like upcoming information session or chat sessions, that you may be interested to join us. So yeah, we welcome you to, join us. So again, I'll pause here where you can take a picture of this QR code, and then you can join us, whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, so right now, what I'll do is I'll pause here for a question and answer on the programs. Anybody would like to ask me any questions regarding the programs? We just take a few questions before we move on to the panel discussion, because I think that's where most people are waiting for. Yeah.
Yeah, I do see some questions in the chat group.
Okay.
So yeah, I think one of the questions that I think is interesting is that there's a participant that asks if there is an internship opportunity available for this program.
Okay, happy to answer that. So yes, internship, which we call it in the data analytics practicum in trimester 3. So you basically work in the daytime in a company, and they have classes during weekdays, evening, or on Saturdays. So almost like for that trimester, you are like juggling work and study. And of course, like I mentioned, after the coursework, you can extend by another half a year through an internship module. So absolutely, that's possible. Yes.
All right. I think yeah, we do also have plenty of questions about the threshold score for GRE.
Okay. Okay, so GRE, I think the average is about 320 something. Yes, yeah. So it really depends, because definitely for business analytics, we will be looking at a lot more on the quant skill, because GRE has a verbal and a quant. So quant would be something that we look at. But of course, as collective score, I think the average is about 320 something. It really depends from year to year, but that's roughly that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we're pretty the other questions have already, the answers to the questions have already been shared in the slides earlier. So yeah, I think we're good to proceed.
Okay, great. In that case, just let me share screen again. So these are our panelists that I've introduced earlier. If you join us a little bit later, after I made the introduction, maybe just briefly run through this again. I'm Regina. I'm from the Nanyang Business School. I oversee the marketing admissions for all the specialized master's program at the business school. So I'm the moderator for this panel discussion. I'm very, very happy to have Prof. Ben. He's a faculty teaching in the program with us today, as well as two alumni, Baratha, she's from the class of 2023, and Justin, he's from the class of 2025. So they'll be sharing with us their experience. And of course, I'll be asking them questions. And of course, at the end of the panel discussions, you can also ask them questions as well. So, okay, maybe before we kickstart this panel discussion, maybe I'll get all our different panelists to give a short introduction. Prof. Ben, would you like to go first?
Sure. In fact, it is so exciting that I feel like I'm going to apply for the scholarship next. Anyway, I'm Ben. Very happy to see you all today online. I am teaching probably the very first course in your first trimester that you will be taking when you enroll to our program. I have been with NTU, I think this is my 8th years, and I've been teaching the MSBA program since it was founded. So I've been around for quite some time with the program, and looking forward to sharing more about my experience and talking to our students furiously more. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. So you are like one of our founding faculty members.
Pioneers, the pioneers generation.
Yes. So you can see that he is very experienced. He has seen the program from day one until where it is the program right now. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. So okay, the sequence will go by what I see on my screen. So the next one is Justin. Justin, would you like to give an introduction of yourself? What kind of undergraduate program were you majoring in before you embarked on the program? And then what are you doing right now? Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Justin. So before coming to MSBA program, I actually complete a 10 years education, including the high school and university back in Canada. So before coming to the MSBA, I actually majoring in finance. So now I'm doing as a business consultant as in one of the big 4 consulting group in Singapore. So yeah.
Wow, congratulations, Justin. Thank you so much for sharing about your background. So yeah, so Justin spent many years in studying in Canada, and then he decided to come to Singapore in Asia for his postmaster's program. And now he's going to start his career right here in the heart of Asia, Singapore. Okay, and then next up we have Bharata. Thank you so much for joining us, even though you're on a work trip. Would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah. Hi everyone. So I'm Bharata. I did my undergrad actually at Nanyang Technological University as well. I did mathematics, and then I came back to do my master's in business analytics. And I graduated last year in 2023. So right now I'm actually working as a global grad for Volvo Cars, and I'm based in Sweden. So I do a lot of like different roles, but most of them is either as a data analyst or a business analyst so far.
Oh, wow, so exciting. So we have our double alumni here. NTU alumni as well as NBS alumni, and we're always very happy to have NTU alumni or even NBS alumni joining us back on a master's program. So if there are any one of you here, I strongly encourage you to think about joining us back your alma mater here in Singapore. Since Bharata was the last one who shared, maybe I'll just post my questions to her. So what motivated you to join the program right after completing your bachelor's degree, and what kind of career goals did you have in mind? You know, when your undergrad was in math, and then now you did a business analytics major. What career goal do you have in mind when you joined this MSBA program?
So it's right after I finished my undergrad, I was actually working at a research institute for about a year. So it's still very research based and very programming based. And I wanted to have a career shift more towards business side. And I wanted to still keep my background, which was math. And math and business, the best fit that I found for myself was business analytics. And the first work I actually did was go through the program list, and all of the different modules was something that I wanted to explore. And it gave me the variety of different topics. It's not just business, it's not just programming. There was a mix, which is one of the pushing factors why I actually signed up for this program.
Oh, wonderful. So did you know programming prior to joining the program?
Yes, I did. That was a benefit for me, but I had a lot of other struggles as well. Like the business side was a little bit, but yeah, I came in with a programming background.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, so again, our students is come with quite diverse background. Like I said, 1/3 of them with no programming or very limited programming exposure, and the others have some sort of programming background. So if they have programming background, maybe they are not so good with the business part, and vice versa. So I guess this business analytics really helps to combine these two, so that after the program, you'll be able to think from different sides, the technical and the business side. Okay, so next question is for Justin. So, you completed your undergraduate in Canada. So how did you find the transition to study in Singapore, both like academically as well as culturally? Was it tough for you to settle in and?
Yeah, so I think the biggest differentiator between Canada and Singapore is like the emphasis on the participation rate if we're talking about the academically, right? So in Canada, one big lecture can have like more than 200 students in the class, and it's quite hard, and people gonna be shy to phrase their own opinion or clarify your questions like during the lectures. But I think in MSBA, like after I joined this program, I found the class size is very like conducive, and so in this way, the professors always encourage the students to get engaged to the class discussion. And I think I practice my speaking skills and also the like presentation skills, of course. And on the other hand, I would say culturally, NTU more focused on the student's life, because I think the most interesting and the most impressive thing that I have is the very first day MSBA ice-breaking event. It was pretty fun, and I made a lot of friends there.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, definitely. I think orientation is something that my colleagues in the program management team work very hard on to make sure that our students kind of like break the ice and know one another, so that you can work closely as a team, because it's a lot of group work and assignments and all that. So we want everybody to get comfortable right from the beginning. And I think some of you may have questioned, oh, you have 110 students this year. Does it mean they're all in one class? So actually for us, we make sure that our class size are actually kept deliberately small. So although we have 110 students this year, we actually split them into two classes. So each class is about, 60 odd, 70, etc. So that we make sure that every student have a very good interactions among themselves as well as a good airtime with the faculty teaching in the program. Yeah, so I guess with that note, I will hand this next question to Prof. So yeah, because you have been teaching in the program, could you share a little bit about which course did you teach, and what can students expect to gain from the course?
Okay, so the course that I've been teaching, the title is called Data Management and Visualization. This is one of the very first course that our MSc students get to attend. So as a result, it is like what you mentioned, our audience is quite diversified. So we pay special attention in terms of managing. They're sort of like onboarding in the first term. The course, generally what is expected is essentially about data management related kind of programming. So specifically is SQL. Which is a very common expected kind of skill set now in any data or data science related job in the market. The second one is sort of like built upon the initial language that you get to learn, and that is the non-structural database language. Currently, we're using NoSQL. So out of this, you have two languages, and that is the first half of data management of the entire course. The second part of it is visualization. So basically, it's to build upon the back end in terms of the skill set that you get to learn in managing data, in infusing different data sources, different data types together. And now we are pushing it to the front end, more for supporting decision makings, for communication with clients. So essentially, it's how to build some kind of charts or dashboards. And this has to be closely coupled essentially with a data story. So earlier, Justin mentioned about the presentation and stuff. So that's precisely what we have done quite extensively about encouraging them that, you need to think about what is your sales pitch, what is your key messages. Even though we have charts, you need to tell an exciting story. So generally, this is what you can expect from my course.
Oh, thank you so much. I think data visualization is very, very important. Definitely, yes, it forces us to think about what is important to the audience that we're presenting and what are the key story, like you say, the points that we want to share with the audience. So I think, what Justin has shared is the presentation is that in our program, although we equip our students with a lot of hard skill, programming and all that, but at the same time, because of the presentation and group work, they also learn the soft skills along the way, like the presentation, speaking to different people from different background, different level of understanding. So these are important soft skills that are essential in the workplace. So I think, which is why our master's program, we kept our class size small. We wanted it to be interactive because if it's a very huge class, you may not have such opportunity to stand out, to have work on this kind of presentation or even be comfortable speaking to a group. So I'm glad that our students here, our alumni, shared that these are important to them as well. So Prof, just one more question. So what kind of student do you find most rewarding, to teach in the program? What do you look for typically?
Well, to be very frank, when I was telling other people that, I'm going to teach the MSBA classes next, they would tell me, that is a very intelligent bunch, right? So essentially, you can expect that those are very smart people that you're going to spend some time together with. And generally, all of them work very hard because indeed, I think in general, the data related kind of jobs, data science, analytics, and so on, requires very broad set of skill sets. So as a result, like Regine just mentioned, the course actually is quite packed with a lot of important learning and teaching in it. So you will have to work hard, but that is certainly something that you'll be looking forward to basically equip yourself with those skills. So I will say generally, which I see a lot of students, they are very, very motivated. They are very self-driven in learning. And a lot of those coming in, for example, without a existing programming background or major in bachelor in computer science or computer engineering, they actually took their own time and effort prior to starting the course learning some kind of programming languages like Python, R, and so on. So it is very self-driven individuals, very highly motivated. And more importantly, I think our environment creates the best opportunity for them to interact and make friends and basically have that diversity in terms of exposure, which turns out to be quite critical, which is actually to echo what Regine just mentioned. Apart from the technical skill set that you will be getting yourself with, the cutting edge that I think you should also pay attention to is the soft skill, which is the soft side of things, which indeed allows you to stand up and stand out from the pack in terms of competitiveness in the job market or developing your career. So that's basically my take.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Prof. Ben, for sharing, because I always get this question like, what do faculty members look for? So I'm glad that you share, that our students are very self-driven, which I think it is. Like I said, they're all very smart people. Nanyang Business School, we are quite selective in who we admit into the program. Although you may say that, most of them are fresh graduate, they don't have work experience. But I would say that almost everyone that we admitted in the program has some sort of internship experience that's related to analytics, because they have to demonstrate that, why do you want to do this program? And I think one of the best way that they can demonstrate their interest in this area is through internships they've taken, or some courses they've taken on the side, to kind of like, they want to show us they're really interested to switch into this area. And definitely, I think Prof has shared, all the different skill sets our students get to learn, like the soft skills and all that is actually very important, because that makes you stand out amongst, all the other, job seekers. And I think that's something, our careers office also try to, try to help our students to realize as well, in terms of the different workshops that they organize, like even like image management, interview skills and all that, or all your non-verbal cues are all very important as well in all this. Yes. So my next question is for Baratha. Were there any courses or professors that really significantly impact your academic or during the course of study in business analytics?
There were a few. I can't remember the name, but they were mostly the business and the visualization. I think that's by Prof. Ben. It was the Tableau one, and also those that presentation wise, because coming from my background, like I wasn't really that good at those. And the soft skills, especially, there were a lot of group works. So group works and all of these presentation skills were like challenging, and I think they really made me like develop my soft skills, and also group working, networking skills improved quite a lot, I would say. And that has been like a great takeaway for my career after the program. I'm able to network now and convey my ideas or present them much better, even the technical ideas, which are usually hard to present.
Oh, wow. That's great to know. I mean, these are really real life testimonies from our alumni. I think these are the best that I think best sharing that I could get. Yeah. And also, Baratha, you mentioned that you were not quite good in the business kind of courses. And how did you kind of like overcome the challenges that you met along the way in the course of the program?
I would say having my friends in the course itself was good. Like a lot of it was group work, and when you work with each other, you help each other improve. I think that is the basic thing that benefited me on top of my extra work. Like when I work with my teammates, we give each other pointers on what to improve on our slides, how should the story flow. So that's like the basic. And then, of course, I did my own effort, like putting in practice to make sure my presentation skill was like, okay, whenever I present, everything flows. And, we have a time limit for presentation. So everything needs to be concise and plan out our words. So yeah, those were self-effort and team effort, I would say.
Oh, that's really nice. I think that's really nice to hear that. I think which is why, having a diverse group of classmates can be beneficial, because everyone have different strengths. And because of the coursework, the group work, the class project and all that, you actually have to work with different people, and then, and then see how you all can collaborate. if everybody comes from the same background, it will be very competitive. But with this, it's a collaborative effort. And I think it's a reflective of what it is like in the workplace. So in the workplace, all of us come from different skill sets. We have different strengths. And I think we often have to work with different teams, with different colleagues to team up on different things. So I think this kind of helped to simulate what it's actually like in the workplace, but maybe on a different project. And these are very essential transferable skills that employers look for. So I'm glad to hear that, manifested in the sharing of our alumni. And my next question is for Justine. Could you share an example of a project from the program that have like a direct real world applications, or or is something that you felt that really helped to, helps in your internship at one of the Big Four that you just completed?
And so the project, I still remember it today. It's called Saudi Aramco project. It's an oil giant worldwide, and our team actually did a lot of research while looking for the data sets. And while we're looking for the data set, we actually get to know more about the international trade, the supply chain efficiency, how to boost the efficiency while saving the cost, and how to use data analytics to actually identify the pattern using the statistics. And at the end, there are always a presentation that we need to do. And we conclude all our findings with a good presentation. And actually, the professors will act like our clients and ask us some questions. So yeah, because my internship is under the line of business consulting, and I think the research skills, data analytics skills, also the visualization skills, and I found that the most importantly is the teamwork collaboration, just as you said. So those skills can really directly apply to real world.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for your sharing. Yeah, again, I think certain themes just keep recurring in the sharing, like the teamwork, the soft skills, and the real world application. I think these are the things that is really highlight the strength of our program. And also another question for Justin is, how did the business analytics program help you to define your career goals, or even like open doors for you? Because you mentioned that your undergraduate was in finance, and now you are going to do business consulting. So yeah, could you share a little bit of that?
And so before coming to MSBA, actually, I have a less experience compared to others in the programming skills, and more come from the business side. And why can I clarify my career goal is because MSBA actually provide us a lot of networking and career events happening during the program. So there's one department called CSGDO. It's a very helpful resource, not gonna lie, to address our career concerns. So as I remember, so at the trimester 3, they plan monthly meetings for students to share the thoughts or challenges during the internships. So, and on the other side, I remember that as a business MSBA students, I also participate the annual Singapore FinTech events. It's quite eye-opening for me. So because I had a lot of opportunity to see the newest technology coming from the big companies, and it's a platform provided by the school for our students to make some valuable connections with the people there. So I think through all those events, I found that I have passion about business consulting after I see all these things. So yeah, I choose this one.
I see. I'm glad that it worked out for you. You are now, landed kind of like a dream job in a very good company. So congratulations again, Justine. I'm glad to have you here in Singapore with me so that I can meet you at more alumni events. Yeah. So, and then my next question is for Prof. Ben, because I think we talk a lot about, having bringing real world applications into our program. Could you share a little bit about how do you bring real world applications and industry collaborations into the classroom experience for our business analytics participants?
Yeah, so that is a fantastic question. And in fact, although the course structure of that course doesn't really change a lot over time, but the actual content evolves quite a lot. So our two alumni, they actually have somewhat different experience. And currently, when we are running the course right now, there are some differences compared to the past 2 years as well. Now, in terms of how basically to make it better connected with the actual working world, the industry, for example, first of all, is that our assignments, in particular, our individual assignment, as well as the group project, basically changes every year. And in particular, we do spend time to identify what is the most significant upcoming trend that's relevant to everybody. There is probably a topic that you should know about, and that will be the theme for the project for that particular term, basically. So I remember, I think last year we have sustainability topic. So essentially, it's all about carbon footprint, about electric vehicles, and so on. So that's for last year. This year, we're looking at the airline industry because of the recoveries and so on. And to make it even more gimmicky, basically, we have now been talking about chatbot in the airline industry. So that's how we actually connect with the latest topic and interest in the industry. The data that we use, as I mentioned earlier, sort of like hand-holding at the beginning because it's onboarding for many of us. The initial set of data basically typically is simulated, so it's not real data. We have better control, we understand it more thoroughly. Subsequently, the data is actually from the real world. Oftentimes, it's open data. And in our group project, more recent arrangement, we also have what we call the blue sky questions, whereby students in groups are encouraged to do some research, to look for more data, and to build up basically the data story eventually. Yeah, so this is the thing that we are doing to incorporate the latest development as well as the trend in the industry and bring them into the classroom. Believe it or not, this semester, the latest thing that we have introduced is we're actually teaching our students how to use ChatGPT to do their programming. So we are not like against it. In fact, we are open arm embracing. You should be trained, you should master ChatGPT as part of your skill set, such that you basically will do better. So that's how we get it done.
Okay, that's very nice. And I really said that to everybody is that our faculty members never rest on the laurel. So, whatever they teach, their slides and all that is updated every year. So because of the latest development, especially in courses like business analytics, where everything is moving so fast. Yes, like now they're teaching us how to use ChatGPT, generative AI. I think I want to learn the course too, how to make my work a little bit better, more productive maybe. So I think, as I said, so our faculty members constantly review on what they're teaching in the program. The course title may remain the same. The broad description of the course may remain the same, but the examples, whatever they're teaching, the assignments are highly reflected of what is needed in the real world, which is what makes our, which is what, like I mentioned earlier, one of the strengths of our program is really the industry relevance that we try to, make sure that our courses have and our students are equipped with the latest. But of course, a lot of things is also equipping our students to be adaptive, to be open to embracing the different emerging technologies that will come up, because some of these things are just growing so fast. Yes. So I'm glad to hear that. And also, Prof, just one final question for you is that what trends or skill sets do you think would be most critical for students to focus on to remain competitive in the business analytics field?
Well, of course, as you have mentioned, we always have to be basically improving and upgrading for the new knowledge. So this part and parcel for a tech or tech-related kind of career, basically. Now, there's something that doesn't change, I think, which is the ability to learn. So that will be a very core skill that we all have to be trained and armed with. What we can be teaching you are essentially skill sets that are immediately relevant to the industry. That is basically part of the strategy, right, in terms of the training. More importantly, one of the core fundamental knowledge or skill set that we are trying to train or arm students with is the ability to self-learn. So you will see that, we introduced to you some of the basics, some of the fundamentals, some of the parameters. They will always be in courses whereby areas that you are pushed and nudged to explore more, to improve more. And that precisely echo the earlier design of the project whereby we have blue sky questions, which you have the freedom to do whatever that you want, and we are essentially really pushing you to go and learn and adapt as the best that you can. So I will think that that is a very core skill set that is going to be critical, if not vital, for us to continue to survive. Because technology change very rapidly, and that is the core skill set that will allow you to continue to excel over time.
Well, thank you. Very, very, very nicely encapsulated. It comes to mind this what they call that you teach them how to fish, and they get to learn to feed themselves for life, right? So essentially, the course is really teaching you the foundations, the cornerstone of what is important in business analytics, and it's up to our students how they want to build on to this knowledge, and to maybe even find a career path for them in different industry, because business analytics is a very, very transferable skill set that is highly applicable in different functions and different industry. So our students, as you can see, Justin is in business consulting, Baratha is in automobiles. You can see automotive. Yeah, so it's very, very diverse and highly applicable in many, many functions. So thank you so much, Prof. Ben. So my final question for Baratha is, you mentioned about how the program has really helped you to prepare for your career, and in terms of soft skills and presentation, etc., and the business analytics side of things. I think a lot of people are excited to learn, how did you, land this job in Volvo, and now you're based in Sweden? That's a question that I really want to know too.
I was actually not Teams. I got a message on LinkedIn, so it was, I think, part of like my LinkedIn profile. They messaged me, and that's how I got it. But the reason why I applied was similar to why I applied to the program. I wanted to explore and learn further on. So yes, it was very much by chance that I was approached. And it's been a great journey so far. 1 year, I've completed 1 year in this job, and I'm still learning a lot more. And what Prof. Ben said earlier on, like continuously learning, that's what I'm doing right now. And I think that's like a great thing to take away and continue with.
That's great. And I think that's really great. And do you have one final, sorry, I know it's a final question, I said, but one more final question, I promise. It's like, do you have any advice for students who really want to apply to this program? What is one advice that you give them?
I would say be prepared to learn a lot, and don't hesitate to don't stay in your own bubble, like be in your comfort zone, because in MSBA it's not just programming, it's not just business, it's also working with different types of people, accepting other people's ideas, and brainstorming ideas together. So it's like a lot, and sometimes it might feel overwhelming, but trust me, at the end I think it's good.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Baratha. And I think, a lot of students comes to me and tell me, especially international students, they say, after I finish this program, I really want to work in Singapore. But the truth is that, you see, our graduating, our alumni proves that, you don't really have to stay in Singapore. Look at Baratha, she's in Sweden. Yes. So our graduates go places, not just in Singapore. And I think one of the things is that, to be open about where your next job is. It could be in Singapore, it could be somewhere in Asia, it could be in Europe or in the US, anywhere. The world is your oyster. I think that really is how I see our graduates everywhere globally. And finally, for Justine, also I have a questions for you. It's like, we have a lot of students who come from, who have share similar background as you. And do you have any advice for them how to approach this application for business analytics?
So my advice will be that discover what you want to do in the future, and focus on what you need from the courses, and try to go out, make new friends, make new connections. You never know what they can bring it to you. For example, the LinkedIn, the LinkedIn actually provides some opportunities for me as well. I highly recommend that. And so finally, use school resources wisely. And Singapore is very beautiful. Just enjoy the school, enjoy the courses, and enjoy the city.
Okay, that's very nice. I hear two recurring themes is that LinkedIn bring you possible jobs. It works in Baratha and works in Justine. So with that, I will just share my LinkedIn here. welcome anybody to connect with me. If you want to ask more about the programs, I'll be happy to do that. So with this, I will move to the final section for today's panel discussion and information session is the Q&A. So I know I saw a lot of messages popping in. So Amira, would you, like to bring us to some of the most commonly asked questions for our panelists to answer them?
Yes, all right. Yeah. So we have received plenty of questions. Thank you everyone for putting in your questions in the chat box. I have an interesting question here. So there's a participant that asked how the students are graded in class. Is it mostly by projects or examinations? I think probably Prof. Ben would be more suitable to answer this question.
Okay, I guess majority, if not all, I think only one maybe, that is examinations. Okay, so most of our courses are project-based, basically. Like what our alumni has already told you, oftentimes they are presentations because that's important.
Yes.
And we want really to maximize the bandwidth, the opportunity for you to learn, practice, and improve, okay? We have a lot of discussions. We have a lot of small little assignments and projects as well. So that is how we basically evaluate students. In my opinion, in a master course, it's really the skill set that you are learning, the experience that you get, as well as the network that you develop that is most vital. Okay, because it's no longer like a bachelor undergraduate training. So it's all those hands-on experience and skills that are most important. And of course, making friends. So yeah, we are always staying in touch with a lot of our alumni as well. So that is my response to that question.
Thank you, Prof. Ben. Another question, probably I can have Prof. Ben to answer as well. One of the participants has asked, how's the proportion of these of the studies in MSBA? Is it math, or in terms of math and business, is it heavy on math or business or programming solely? Yeah, would you be able to give some clarifications on that?
Okay, I would say generally I think there's a statistic course that you will have to take. So based on my understanding, that is probably the most math-like kind of thing, but Rafa can correct me if I'm wrong. For the rest, typically they involve some programming, basically. Because analytics, data science, programming is your bread and butter. So certainly you have a lot of opportunities to be trained in that. Now, our two alumni give you perfect case illustration, essentially. Each of them have the same training. They are working in totally different industry. So that's what we basically call it DEFs, essentially, which is your industrial specific experience, where you will start to gain when you are placed in a particular kind of job. Okay, so that's the business side of things in general, basically. So we'll be preparing you with all these technical skills, some math foundation, which is statistics, then through the internship and as well as market industry relevance project that we have, we are trying to build you up that depth to prepare you to basically be more focused when you start your career. Yeah, so generally, I think that is how the placement is like. Minimum, I think, which is required necessary for the mathematics, and the programming skills will be quite heavy in our analytic courses, which is basically quite standard, I think, internationally, and as well as exposing you to some specific business specialization.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Ben, for your clarifications. I hope the participants have a better idea now, on how the MSBA is. Further questions we have received is, I've seen a few questions on this, so probably the alumni would be able to share on this. The participants are asking in terms of lifestyle, how much is the living cost of accommodations and transport, basically as an international student studying in MSBA in Singapore? Any advice in particular in terms of financing your stay here in Singapore besides the tuition fee?
So, okay, I'm gonna talk about this one. So the living expense, because like the first year when I studying at NTU, I rent HDB. Yeah, HDB, and 1 month roughly costing me like 1.5K. And I think that's like average and reasonable for like a master room. And okay, 1.5K plus the transportation fee should be very low because like every day you just take the public transit. So I think 1 month should 3.3K to 3.5K should be enough. Yeah.
I think this cost is also very subjective. It also depends on students' lifestyle as well. So of course, if you manage to get on-campus housing, which is very, very limited, the cost will go down definitely. So and I think Justin's case is is a good approximation. If you were to stay outside of campus and then you mostly eat out, I guess, and you enjoy some lifestyles, I think 3K is a good amount to set aside for. Yes.
If living in the campus, probably 2K should be more than enough, right? Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Thank you,
thank
Jessie.
you.
Sorry, I saw some question where they wanted me to show the QR code. So before Amira jump to the next question, let me just share the slides again. Because I see some student wanted a certain QR code. So here it is. Yeah. Okay, sorry, back to you, Amira.
Yeah, I also see some participants asking about the waiver of the application fee. I think just to let you know, you will be receiving the waiver of the application fee via email within 5 working days after this event. Yeah. All right. So do keep a lookout in your inbox for the application fee waiver code.
Yeah.
All right. Do drop us more questions, especially in regards to the program or anything that you would like to know further.
Yeah, I think we have time for maybe final 2 questions or something, because I know it's a weekend and our panelists has been very, very generous to spend their afternoon with us. So I don't want to take up any more of their time. Any last questions for anybody? I think I saw a question about scholarship. Scholarship application is a lot of people ask me, if I put in scholarship application, does it affect my chances of being shortlisted? Actually, there is no correlation at all. So these 2 processes are considered separately. So when our admissions team review your application, we really look at whether your profile is aligned to the program, and we think that you're quite aligned. We shortlist you for the admissions interview. So after the admissions interview, we find that we really want you to be our program. That's where we look at your application. Oh, you have applied for scholarship, and then we surface your profile to the scholarship committee. Sorry, who will then review your applications for scholarship, and then they will then decide if you're going to be awarded with a scholarship, and if yes, what is the quantum of the scholarship. Yeah. So that's how it is. So there is it does not affect your chances of being shortlisted at all. There are 2 separate processes, 2 different committees looking at it. So if you want to be considered for scholarship, you need to apply by the round 1 deadline, which is 30th of November. And you need to complete the scholarship section in your online application. There are generally additional essay questions that you need to submit. So be sure to submit by the deadline. Yeah. So after we get a lot of students, after they get an offer, they say, oh, I missed out that section. I forgot. Can I still put in the application? So to be fair, we have to be fair to all the applicants who submit by the deadline and complete the scholarship section. So I'm very, very sorry if you kind of overlook that. It's very hard for us to consider you for scholarship. So be sure to put in your applications for scholarship when you submit your deadline, and not retrospectively after you are admitted with after we gave you the offer. Okay, so any more questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have one last question. Does applying to other programs in NTU reduce the chances of admission into the MSBA program?
Okay, this is a very good question. We get this question quite frequently as well. Not at all, because we actually don't have overview of what other programs you apply at the NTU level. So we will only look at your applications for the different programs that you apply at the Nanyang Business School. Yeah, so each the different admissions team actually will review your application holistically for the program that you apply. So you may be offered or shortlisted for one program, but not for another program, because based on the profile and the things that you submitted, we may find that you're more suitable for a particular program than another. But of course, you apply to 5 programs, it means you have to pay 5 application fee, get your recommenders to submit for 5 different programs, you have to submit a lot more essays, etc. So it's really up to you. But I would suggest that you apply to not more than 3, because otherwise, otherwise you like, how do you decide which program? There must be 1 or 2 programs that you are really most interested in, most your strengths are more alike for. So I suggest not to apply to like too many as well, because in that sense, because different programs, we kind of work differently, the admissions outcome are released differently, and once we give you an admission offer, we can't extend the offer for too long. We have to be very fair to everybody. So I hope you understand. Yeah. So with that, I'd like you all to follow us on our social media as well. We frequently post information on our program, events, thought leaderships, etc. On LinkedIn. So do follow us on social media. And I see that our panelists and our prof has also shared their LinkedIn in the chat. So feel free to connect with all of us. And thank you so much once again for spending your afternoon with us. I hope that this session is informative, and it gives you the confidence that you need to apply to our business analytics master's program. So again, we're accepting application for next year, July intake. So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you to all our panelists. Thank you so much for your generous sharing.